Hi, I'm Paula Giacatti, and I'm here today with my two beautiful granddaughters,
Julia.
Fiona.
and today we're going to be making meatballs with Grandma. So, the first thing we have, I'll tell you all the ingredients. I have 2 pounds of chopped chuck, and I have 1.5 pounds of chopped pork, which is not always traditional. A lot of people just use chopped beef. But I think that the pork adds a lot of sweetness, and I'm not adding any sausage or pork to the sauce, so I think it makes a better meatball. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to unwrap these, and we're going to put it in this big plate. And while the girls are doing that, I have some bread that I'm going to soak with water to make the mixture stay together better. I don't like to use breadcrumbs. I feel it's too dry, so this is what my mom did, and that's what I'm going to do. So this is going to soak for a minute or two. Just smush it down. You girls, you know what the garbage is? Good, excellent. Okay, let's just break this up a little. Okay, now the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to add some salt. So I'm going to say we'll start with 1/2 teaspoon, and since I don't have my glasses, you're going to find 1/2 teaspoon. We can, oh, that's 1/2 teaspoon? Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think we'll do 2 of those.
So 4 teaspoons?
No,
2 halves. 1.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Yeah. I'm trying to get it all over. Okay, that's good. And you know how to do this? Okay, so I think we'll do, let's start with 12. Yeah, turn it upside down. Very good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's do 3 more. Okay. Next we're going to add some parsley. So I use flat leaf parsley, not cilantro and not curly leaf, because Italians usually use flat leaf parsley because it's very flavorful and aromatic. So you can throw that in.
All of it?
Let's do half and see what it looks like. We'll do more. Okay, that looks pretty good. Christmas.
Should I do more?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'm going to cheat, so I'm not going to chop any garlic, but I'm going to use a little bit of this, just to give it a little flavor. Okay. And next we're going to put in some grated Parmigiano Reggiano. And let's start with half of that and see how that goes. Don't worry about making a mess. Keep going.
What's that?
This is the breadcrumbs, the bread,
Oh.
the leftover bread. Now we're going to put that in. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now we're going to squeeze out the excess water. You can start cracking the eggs, actually, ladies.
In here?
Yeah. No shells, please.
Where do you put these?
Oh, just throw them in the sink. We'll deal with it later.
I got some on the table.
That's okay. As long as you don't get any in the chop meat.
No, I mean some egg yolk.
I know, that's okay.
I thought you wanted it.
Oh, yes. Please put some more. Okay, so who wants to start mixing first?
I will.
Julia? Fiona?
I will.
Okay. So always mix from the bottom. There you go, it's called folding. Hey, keep going, you're doing good. Get those eggs in there. Can I help her? So today we're going to do an experiment. When I was a kid, in the traditional way to make meatballs, of course, was to fry them in olive oil. But in today's health-conscious world, a lot of people put them in the oven. So we're going to have a little contest today. We're going to do half in the oven, and we're going to do half fried, and we're going to see which one tastes better. And I can probably guess that the fried ones are going to taste better because everything tastes better fried. And Julia, what do you think?
I think
What's your opinion?
I think the fried ones are going to be better because they look a lot like
Yeah, look how perfect those look. And Fiona, what do you think?
I think the fried ones are gonna be better because they look better.
See, so we want to mix it. We don't want to over mix it because then the meat gets tough. But we want to mix it so that we don't see any of the bread, because nobody wants to taste the crumpled bread.
I do.
You do. Yes, you do like bread, don't you? Okay. So this is a very, very good consistency. I think we did very well. It's not too mushy, and it's not too dry. The only thing we're going to do is, I think I might put a little more parsley.
That's what I was going to
Just, would you agree?
Yeah.
And I'm just tasting for salt. And I think we could just use maybe a pinch of salt and a little bit. So why don't you put in half that cheese, because I don't taste too much cheese, and you can put in some more parsley.
Should I put salt in?
Yeah, a little bit, definitely, okay?
And then some parsley?
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it?
I think so, what do you think? Yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so that shouldn't make it any drier, but it should make it tastier. Whoa, hello.
What's it falling out?
What's the water for?
I'll show you.
I thought it was to make the bread.
No, it's a little trick my mom taught me. So this is my mom's recipe. Because I made that always growing up, and it doesn't matter how many times you make it, they always turn out different. Okay, so we're gonna put half of them in here, and half of them in here, wait. So the little trick with the water is to wet your palm, and so that if you want to use a scoop, you can use a scoop, but pretty good idea. So that's about what you want them to look like. You don't want them too small, and you want to do them gently. Okay? So you want to look a little, that's a little bit more. That's good. A little bit bigger than a ping pong ball, but not as big as a tennis ball. That's good, perfect. Okay, and so when the water wears off and it starts to stick, that's when you want to put on too much, Fiona.
I know. Look how good.
No tennis balls.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Look at Julia's.
That's fine, it's a little big, but
Oh, I put it in.
yes, you do, I know.
This good?
Yep,
Look how small.
that's okay.
We use a little scooper.
Yeah, you can, why don't you use a big scooper?
Here's that.
That's a little too much, Fee. Perfect. You know what? We can actually start putting these on here.
Like this.
That's a little big, Julia.
So we're baking these?
Which ones are we baking?
These, I guess.
Doesn't matter, whatever fits on here. See, and you want them all the same so that they'll cook
Like this, Grandma?
the same.
Is that too big?
A little teeny too big.
What about this one?
A little too big.
I'll just
You
put
can
them
make that a
on
little
the
bit
plate,
smaller
and then
than
you
you great.
could tell me.
Yeah, see, this one's perfect, just like that. Alright, so I guess we're frying the rest of it.
You can fit one more on that plate.
You can start with the white plate now. Not too many left. Hey, we did pretty good. That's perfect. One more. All right, you're the old maid. You made the last meatball. Uh-oh. Sorry, Fee. Okay. That looked pretty darn good. Okay. So, now we should have done it before, but it's okay. We'll put the oven on. You can take them off, yeah? We're going to bake them at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. But meanwhile, while the oven heats up for those, we can start frying these. So let's clean up. We'll just put all this in the sink. Can you hand me this, anything from the table so I can start? We'll just put it in there. That would be great.
Do we just throw this in the sink?
Yeah. Just throw it. Okay, so as you can see, cooking is not the neatest thing on earth, right? Okay, so now we're going to fry the other batch. We're going to do it on medium high. So we're going to finish this first. Hey, have you guys ever fried anything?
I made funnel cake.
Really? Okay, so how do you know when the oil is hot?
When it bubbles.
Yes, or you just take a little teeny piece of whatever you're making and throw it in there, and when it sizzles, you know it's done.
You need more.
So you can put a little bit more. Good, that's good. Okay. So when I was little, my uncle used to tease me all the time when we had bottles, and he goes, "Oh, there's more there, just squeeze it." So I used to squeeze it, and guess what? Something came out, right, because of course there's always 2 drops left.
I thought you said
But I used to think it was because I was squeezing it. It's like, wow, look what I can do. Okay, so let's give this a minute. And then let me get another dish so we can put the, stay there, it's flat. Now I have my sauce all made, which I'm going to start warming so that I'll be putting them into a warm pot. That's okay, well, that's good. So you know what, we'll do one, and then when that's full, we'll put them in the sauce. Oh yeah, that would be good if we had the right burner one, wouldn't it? Okay. So, let me just take a piece of meat. So is it ready? No. Okay, good. If you want to, maybe you want to get 2 more forks? Or 4 more forks? So traditionally, my mom used to turn them with forks. Right. But you have to be careful not to stab them, because you don't want all the juices to run out, and so you have to do it very gently. It's kind of like making cookie dough. Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right. So Fiona went to cooking school at the Solar Table, and what did you make?
We made pasta.
Pasta. I forgot. How was it?
And chicken.
Pasta and chicken.
That was for like a challenge
Yeah,
that
it was
we
a
did,
Right.
but I forget.
Okay. You also made
We made
potato.
cauliflower pizza.
Okay.
Latkes.
Latkes. Okay. So I'm thinking that it might be ready. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a dish. Thank you. Okay. So very gently. Why are we going to put them in gently?
Because we don't want the olive oil to splash.
You're right, and that's not quite ready.
Because this is such a little piece.
I guess.
Doesn't look like an apple.
Oh, I think it is. Because as you cook, you add more.
Yeah.
Okay, it's getting there. Okay, you want to put one in? No, by your hands.
No, but I'll do it.
No, Gigi. Oh, yeah.
I don't think you can fit it.
There we go. There we go. Okay, so we need to give them enough room so that we have room enough to turn them. And you don't want to put too many in too fast because then the oil will get cold. So what we want is we want a nice brown, but we don't want them to burn because then they won't taste really very good. So they need probably like a minute, and you can tell because I don't know if you can see already, but they're getting a little white on the bottom. So when they're, you can take that out.
What about the one, should we put the one in them in oven?
And then, well, the oven, just put that in the sink. The oven we'll put in when it's ready, as soon as it gets to, oh, that, smelling good. You want to be the first turner? Yeah, you know what, Julie, why don't you come on this side? So basically what you do is, you know, you just sneak a little up, and they're not brown, okay? But you just want to be very gentle.
Let me put that one in first.
Yeah, so that will be the first one that should be ready. And just don't get too close because what happens with meatballs is they spit.
It smells good.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, it's good. Is this stuck?
How's it looking?
It's like, no way you get.
Oh, yeah, I think you can turn it. Yeah, good. Okay, so we want the wall to look like that. That's perfect.
Well, we put that one in first, we should.
So, how did you anybody remember how we went? This one's getting kind of white.
This one-
Fiona, why don't you check this one? Yes, you can. Lift it up a little bit more.
No.
Okay, another 1 minute. You can get that one looks like it's ready. This one looks like it's ready. Flip it completely over. There we go. So you know what you're doing. Perfect.
You can't leave it like you
Now we'll check that one too. Yep. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Go ahead. Flip all the way over. There you go. Excellent.
That one has it.
So let's remember how we went. Okay, kind of like that.
The oven's ready.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. You just let me in after you know if you can open the door. More. All right, time is on for 20 minutes. Yeah, you think you should check them, especially the first one.
These cook a lot faster.
Yeah, that looks good.
Leave them on the side.
Yeah, of course, you want to do all the sides. You don't want to leave any red. I would check that one, please. Oh, yeah.
It's like getting shocks in my hands.
This one's not ready. Not ready.
Is this one good or should I put it back?
I would let it go for one more second. See, this one's a little more brown. That needs another minute. Because if you turn them when they're too soft, they'll, yeah. Good word, very professional cooking word.
I need pasta and fast. You know, I need sauce and pasta.
Me too.
Who's checking them?
This one's definitely done.
Who's checking them? Grandma.
Wow, honey.
Who's judging them?
I don't know who the judges are gonna be this time. Last year they had a chef from a restaurant nearby.
We should have a chef on the block in the area.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'm
Have you gone there lately?
No.
We haven't been there.
I'm learning families and Italian.
Yes.
So
Not familiar?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I already knew that because you told me.
Mm-hmm. You know what that sign says, right? Remember?
No. I'm gonna remember, but I didn't learn it.
Okay, well, look at it and see if you can translate it. Grandpa, maybe you can...
Food, wine, and friends.
Yay! Excellent!
I remember my salamica and I know everything.
The last word looks like a French word.
Amici, yes, it does. How do you say it? Ami? Oh, that's French.
So if
Ami.
you-
Mon ami.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
like these are me,
This is what?
my friends.
Oh, these are me. Okay. Oh, interesting.
Good food, good wine, good fun.
Good food, good wine, good friends, exactly. And that's what it's all about. All right, you're coming out, everybody out of the pool. Everybody. This one?
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
one next, this one.
And I just learned like the love and A in Italian.
Yeah.
So like masculine is feminine.
And what would be the masculine?
I don't think there's masculine.
I think you're right. Yeah, I don't think there is either.
Oh, French word.
Oh, well,
Yep,
there's
la and la.
a lot.
So it's like
of
LA and LE.
Oh, there is a masculine way for us, but not for the family. It's always gonna be a man.
Okay, 2 more, and we're done.
It's like all the way over here.
I know, it's like, oh, I forgot to give you guys aprons.
It feels like you're getting tricked.
Yeah, it does.
Good. I don't know if you noticed, but they did stay a little rounder. Now. Alright, so let's pick one as our test subject.
Can I pick this one?
Sure.
Either that one, so.
Oh, needs a little coaxing. Okay, Fiona, you want to put some sauce if I can get it on here?
Where's the spoon?
Okay, here we go. A little sauce on. It's okay, you have to learn to, if you can't stand the heat, you can't be a cook. Yes, you can.
I'll do it.
She can do it, she can do it. A little
No.
bit more, stir it up so you get the thickness, otherwise you get just the watery, the watery part on top. One more. Okay, good job. Excellent, okay. So, here we go, this one is the baked and this one is the fried. Let's have a taste test. Try and break it into 4. Ready? I guess we should let the cameraman have a taste. What do you think? Can you break that into 4? Okay, I'll be first.
Out of the oven. We kind of are.
These ones look better on the inside.
Yeah, they need to be cooked a little bit more,
Yeah.
but pretty darn good. Want to taste that one? What do you think?
I need to be cooked a lot.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah, there's
taste-wise,
still pink in the middle.
you don't like it?
It's like raw.
Okay, well, just take the outside. But how's it taste?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, not very good?
Well, they're raw.
Alright. I think they're pretty good.
Can I try the baked one?
Absolutely.
There's 4 people. Grandma, did you try some?
I did.
Which one do you like better?
Alright, everybody into the pool.
I have to taste some.
I think the baked ones taste better.
Did you have a taste? Yeah.
Yeah,
How
the
about you,
baked ones
Jules?
taste better.
Which one tastes better?
The baked ones.
Yeah, it's just because the other ones aren't cooked all the way.
Yeah.
Gotta have those little bread.
Want something?
Be careful. Try the fried one. Girls, I remember when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, every Sunday morning my mother would be making sauce and meatballs and sausage. I would wake up to these wonderful smells. I would come down to the kitchen when I woke up. I'd say, Ma, can I have some meatballs? And she said, okay. So she would take a couple of meatballs, put them on a plate. I'd take some bread, have a little tomato sauce on it, and that's what I had for breakfast. And my mother always made a couple of extra ones so that my brother and I could have them like that. So what do you think of?
The baked one.
The baked one?
Really? That is so interesting. But I do think that the reason is because this one isn't quite cooked.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, stir in the sauce, boss. Okay, they fit in there nicely. Nice, a lot of room for them to swim around. Set the timer for a half hour. Boom! Yeah, we did it. We did it. Not too bad. What'd you think?
They just need to cook more.
Yeah,
They're good, though.
but overall, did you think that it was really hard? Easier than you thought?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too.
It just takes a long time for them to be done.
They used to say when you went to Grandma's house, Grandma would spend all morning making the sauce because it takes a long time for the sauce to make. Then it takes a long time to make all the meatballs and stand there and fry them. And a lot of cooks add sausage and pork pieces. So the whole process really takes hours. And it was easier than you thought it was going to be. Or at least it was easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so that's cooking meatballs with Grandma. And we hope you enjoyed the show. Say ciao.
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 If you go to Italy, you will probably not find a dish called spaghetti and meatballs. And if you do, it's most likely to satisfy American tourists. Italians do have a version of meatballs, and they're called polpette, but they differ from American meatballs in many ways. Polpette are primarily eaten as a meal itself, plain, or in soups, and they are made with any meat from turkey to fish. Often, they are no bigger in size than golf balls. In the region of Abruzzo, they can be no bigger in size than marbles, and they're called polpettini. Think of Italian-style wedding soup, available from Progresso. The American version of meatballs emerged as a result of Italian Americans' increasing wealth after they migrated here by the millions. The immigrants who were poor in Italy could now afford to buy more meat, which is how and why their favorite home-style comfort food of polpette became larger and larger, with the meat-to-bread ratio tilting severely in favor of more meat. The tomato-based sauce that the meatballs are drenched in came about because in the late 19th century and early 20th century, canned tomatoes were readily available and cheap in the United States, making a marinara sauce an obvious companion for the meatballs. The addition of spaghetti was also rooted in how easy it was to get spaghetti at the turn of the century. However, it was the only form of pasta available then. Many newly established Italian-American restaurants at the turn of the 20th century also added it to the dish because Anglo-Americans were used to eating a starch with their meals. Slowly but surely, spaghetti became a firm fixture in the composition of this brand new dish, spaghetti and meatballs.